Right. The Conservative Party, in the midst of this election campaign, is proposing broad tax breaks for seniors that would allow them to invest in RRSPs for longer and defer having to convert them into RIFs and start winding them down. Let's get more from Jamie Golombek, Managing Director of Tax and Estate Planning with CIBC Private Wealth. Jamie, thanks for joining us at very short notice today.
My pleasure.
Start off with this change that they're proposing with RRSPs, if you would. Right now, the state of play is when you turn 71, you have to turn it into a RIF and start winding the darn thing down, taking it into income. But they're proposing extending that to 73 now?
Well, that's right. So the Conservatives have said that if elected and they have the opportunity to bring forward tax reform, one of those changes would be to extend the age in which you can contribute to an RSP from 71 to 73. This is something that, of course, many have been arguing for years. There was some good research out of the C.D. Howe Institute on this topic multiple times over the years. And the idea ultimately is to allow, of course, seniors who are working two things. Number one, if they're still working and they have RSP room to contribute to that RSP for an extra couple of years. But I think more importantly, it allows you to delay that forced withdrawal till another 2 years. So in other words, instead of being forced to take out a minimum amount from the RIF the year after you turn 71, now they've delayed that to the year after you turn 73. So I think this proposal would be very beneficial, allowing the money to stay tax sheltered for longer because, of course, people are living longer, and now they'll be able to grow their retirement savings by an extra couple of years and be able to have that money last longer before being forced to take it out and pay tax on that when they retire.
They're also going to allow, apparently, seniors to earn as much as $34,000 in a year without paying income tax. And right now, the cutoff is only about $25,000.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one. So you read the wording. We don't have a lot to go on. We just have a one-pager on these proposals. But I mean, I think that the key term is working seniors. And the way I read that, of course, is that, you know, every Canadian has the basic personal amount, which is around $16,000. Then the seniors right now have an age amount, which is like another $8,000 or so, or $9,000. So again, that brings you to, you know, around $25,000, $24,000, somewhere in that range. So I think what they're proposing to do is an additional $10,000 of working income. So I take that to mean employment income or self-employment income. That will then be exempt from tax. We don't know how that's going to be done yet. Will it be a credit? Will it be a deduction? We'll see how that comes out. But I think the incentive here is that as seniors continue to be healthy and work in retirement, even if it's working part-time or for the gig economy, there is that opportunity to earn that extra $10,000 of employment income without being subject to tax. They get to keep more of it, which allows seniors to be productive in retirement and ultimately keep more of their cash to help them basically save for the later years.
Of course, seniors who aren't working will benefit from this as well. There is evidence, I think, that younger workers are having a hard time. They can't afford houses. We know lots of employers have gone to this so-called casual contract business. So I don't know. I know seniors vote. Politicians like to pander to them. But is this the right policy? Should we not be helping younger people?
Well, again, I think all policy things need to be on the table. And again, this is early in the election run right now. We're only a few days in. So I expect that we'll see announcements on all areas, not just seniors, but for young people, for working Canadians, for homeowners, for aspiring owners. I think it's just so early in the campaign right now. And we look forward to seeing what all the parties put on the table to help all Canadians.
And now they are also hammering the table that they're going to keep the age at which CPP and old age security kicks in at 65. Remember Pierre Poilievre's old boss, Stephen Harper? He wanted to raise that limit. And that would have saved the government quite a bit. But in came the Liberals and they moved it back to 65. And Poilievre is sticking with that. So he's rejecting that policy that Stephen Harper brought in.
Right. And again, I think this is one that has become very political because you're taking away a benefit from some seniors by forcing a delayed age. We can argue the merits of doing that from a broader economic policy perspective, but ultimately that is a vote killer. So I think ultimately all the parties, to the extent that they take away money from seniors they otherwise would be getting by forcing a start date that to be later, is not going to win a lot of votes. So ultimately, there are good policy arguments for keeping it at 65. There are other ones for delaying it by a couple of years. But I think the government has heard from Canadians over the last number of years, and they're going to go with the status quo and not upset that one at age 65.
Are more, I don't know, Jamie, can you give us insight from clients you hear about, et cetera? Are more seniors working beyond 65?
Absolutely. I mean, 65 used to be the absolute cutoff. I mean, and certainly when we were growing up, 65 was like, that's when everyone retired. And we are now certainly seeing, especially with the rise of the gig economy, where people have the flexibility to earn extra income and they're healthy and they're active and they're able to be productive, then we do certainly see people working beyond 65. Certainly professionals, whether it's doctors or lawyers, are well working beyond age 65. And to the extent that they're able to contribute and have a lot of benefit there in terms of contributing to society, being able to continue to working until they no longer wish to work, even if it's part-time, has certainly benefited them, but also benefited, I think, the broader economy.
I know, I'm thinking about my next career. It's either going to be roofing or maybe professional background dancing. I'm not sure, Jamie, which one I'm going to go with. Anyway.
Get some insurance if you do the roofing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Jamie, thanks very much indeed. Jamie Golombek, Managing